The Dogs at number 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where I would have had the Dogs as well. I mean, maybe, potentially challenge the St Kilda, Geelongs and Collingwoods, but, this is it for the Dogs. They've really got to come out there, and we've alluded to it before, and we've made it plainly simple. This is the list. This is the chance, and I'm still worried about them in a few positions. I mean, Baz is going to have a massive year, and they're still a little weak, I think, in the ruck, and sometimes I guess Harris takes a lot of the load in defence and does some strange things with the football and tries to get almost a little bit too involved. I think if he plays his role as a key defender, they'll be a little bit more, I guess, predictable and consistent in that sense. But yeah, I mean, top 4, respectable wise, but I think longer term, and I always want to think longer term with this side, because they're probably one of the few teams left that haven't won a flag in bygones. So it's interesting with the Dogs. I mean, Ead's been to a few grand finals, actually been to one grand final and a lot of prelims, but he's never won one as a coach, and you almost think that he's nearly there.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, eh? That's why I do have the Dogs ranked behind Geelong and St Kilda at second and third respectively, is because I do question the Dogs' ability to just get over the line in the big final. The Western Bulldogs. I like their off-season additions. I thought Sherman looked tremendous in the NAB Cup. I like Vaz Premi. He looks like a slippery customer. Not so much Nathan Chikura. He didn't impress a great deal, but I like the way they've shuffled their list around. I think there's no excuses this year. I think last year, Ackermanis was very much made to be the scapegoat around the middle of the season when they were in real trouble, the Dogs. They were premiership favourites going into the season last year. And whether the bookies are just after the sentimental dollar from the Bulldogs fans or not, they were the favourite. It was generally a consensus opinion that going into the season, the Dogs were the highest rated team. And if we had done this list 12 months ago, I'm guessing we would have had the Dogs at number 1. So, for me, I like the way they play, but I think if the Dogs want to make a grand final, if they want to continue to improve, they have to shut up shop a little bit. They have to be prepared to play the congested footy. I mean, the Dogs love the Telstra Dome shootout. The Dogs love we'll give you a bit of room, you give us a bit of room. We'll play Ring of Rosie and we'll see who comes out with. We'll kick 17 goals 11 and you'll kick 15 goals 8 and we'll win. So I think if the Dogs can shut down on a few teams, if they can go more defensive, if it looks like they're going to do with some of these acquisitions, they could be up there. But yeah, I just don't see them. I really, as much as people say the top 4, Collingwood, Geelong, St Kilda, the Dogs, when it comes to finals, for me, I think it's more of a top 3.
Yeah, and you want to see that change, and you really want to see, the Western Bulldogs win a prelim and get to a grand final and roll the dice and see what can happen. But yeah, I mean, that's the perception you get because they haven't had the chance and they've really, squandered opportunities in recent times, and they need to get off to that same consistent start and be around there at the right time and have everything go their way to I think, have a shot at that.
I mean, really, they've got. Your bookends, you've got Lake and Hall at each end of the ground. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of talent.
That's powerful.
That's a tremendous amount. I mean, the ruck, they're a little bit weak, but Hudson's serviceable. I mean, if Ace Cordy can come on as a sub late in the game and run a few people ragged this year, they've got an outstanding midfield with Cooney, Boyd and Cross and Griffin in the middle of there. That's an outrageous array of talent. They've got pace. They've got so much going for them, the Dogs, but it's at the stage now where, and it's often said about Rodney Eade, is that they've just got a stale feel about them. And I know that was very much a buzzword when Eade's time at Sydney came to an end. There was very much a catch cry of, the message has gotten stale. Rodney Eade's gotten stale. How many times could you slag all over someone's face while you're screaming at them at 3/4 time with your head turning bright red? And there was very much a sense that they're stale. I just get the feeling this year, despite some of their acquisitions, and I thought they've been good in the off-season, a few interesting father-son pickups as well, but they're just verging on stale for me, the Dogs. And I think this year, if they don't make the grand final, I think there'll be a whirlwind of Rodney Eade's messages gone stale. The Dogs are stale. Let's see if we can lure Mick Malthouse across, or let's see if we can't reshuffle the deck and and do something, because for me, are they starting to feel a bit stale to you, the Dogs?
I just want to see Eade, make a grand final again with this unit. I mean, stale's a pretty, potential assessment, but you just want to see something from them. That killer instinct they lack to really take advantage and knock over some of these top sides and top sides for years, not just these three top sides, but other top sides in yesteryears in the last decade. They just seem to lack that killer blow, the Dogs. And I don't know what it is,
But you're very much honed in on Eade there. You think Eade, there's a link between Rodney Eade and...
I just think he's unproven at the actual premiership level. I mean, a lot of coaches are, and a lot of people build themselves up, but he's been in the system for a long time, Eade.
No, but I see what you're saying, because I think back to those Swan sides of the late 90s and the early 2000s, and to me, those sides did lack the killer instinct also that you speak of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw that with they did very well against Essendon that year to make the grand final and nearly get over the line against North. I mean, look threatening for a part of the game, but I mean, they still were runners up. No one remembers who came second.
But yeah, I do see, because I'm generally pretty soft on Rodney Eade. I like him, but I am starting to. Just because I'm hearing it, I'm getting a barrage of criticism about Rodney Eade. But yeah, I can see that the Dogs do tend to lack that killer instinct. And I don't know how many times we've seen them in those epic encounters late in the season against the Pies. The Pies get out to an early lead. The Dogs call the lead back, get to within or break into the lead in the last quarter, and the game slips away. And to me, that's emblematic of the Dogs. I guess you could say under Eade. I don't like to criticise Eade that much because I think he's done okay. But, I mean, the Bulldogs were a rabble in the middle of the decade. Remember, they had Peter Rode coaching them, and they were just...
Oh, no, he's definitely built them up into a decent unit. I'm just saying that he's now at the critical mass stage to get a result.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Like, to me, the Dogs are already stale. Like, to me, when I was doing these rankings, I'm thinking, the Dogs, they're going to finish in the top 6. They're going to knock over a few teams in the finals, and they're going to fall over in the prelim. And I just can't visualise anything beyond that, unfortunately.
Yeah, me either at the moment.